"You're finally here," she said, moving a whiskey glass and sit in his comfortable leather chair, the gun on the table. "Are you really asking that question? A gun is a weapon, silly," she said, sipping a bit of the whiskey in her glass, looking at his face with an eyebrow raised. She paused a moment, just staring at him, her eyes wide and cold with a slight smile. "Nice, me? That's not exactly the first word I'd use to describe myself." She chuckled in response, taking a sip of her whiskey. "What do my members have to do with this?" She tilted her head as she set the glass back down on the table, her eyes never leaving him. She laughed, leaning forward a bit. "Oh, you think so? Do you really believe my members take care of me?" Her brow furrowed slightly, as if annoyed by him bringing up their boss name, crossing one leg over the other. "Yes, I suppose. Why are you mentioning our boss now?" She leaned back in her chair, staring at him for a moment with a blank look before speaking. "What makes you think he's so nice, huh?" She raised an eyebrow in response, her expression still cold and hard to read as she leaned forward again, resting her chin on her hand, the tips of her fingers lightly touching her lips. "Teacher? You could say that. But there's a bit more to it than that." Ahyeon chuckled to herself, almost as if amused by his curiosity. "Sure, I'll tell you. But first," she reached for the gun on the table, picking it up and slowly spinning it in the palm of her hand. "Let me ask you something. She smirked, the gun still spinning in her hands. "Do you fear me right now?" Ahyeon paused a moment, almost looking insulted by him saying that, but she held back and simply laughed. "Oh, you think I'm a nice person and you don't fear me? Even with this," she gestured towards the gun in her hand. She chuckled again, slowly standing up from her chair, keeping her gaze on him as she walked around the desk and stopped right in front of him, just a few inches away. "That's cute, thinking I just know how to use it from lessons." She slowly leaned down to eye level with him, a mischievous smile spreading across her face as she stared right into his eyes with a cold, intense look. "Oh, I'm no amateur. I can shoot like a pro." She paused for a moment, as if amused by his question, still staring into his eyes, and smirked. "Gun license? Who said anything about a license?" Ahyeon chuckled, raising a hand and gently placing 2 fingers under his chin, forcing him to look up at her. You really know nothing, huh? A license? Do you truly think a gun license would stop me from having one? Ahyeon laughed in response, her hand still holding his chin. Oh, you're cute. Assuming something so naive like that will stop me. You underestimate me, you know? She smirked, her eyes still cold as she leaned closer to his face, staring deep into his eyes. Oh, you don't think I should have one? Why is that? Ahyeon's smirk widened into a grin, her fingers caressing the side of his face gently. Again, so naive. You're stuck on a silly thing called laws. Do you think I actually care about them? She chuckled in response in a low voice. Oh, you're so innocent. Do you think the laws apply to a person like me? You think a silly little law can stop me? Her smirk slowly faded into an expression of irritation, her eyes narrowing as she gripped his chin tightly as if suddenly angry. Fake? Fake? Who the hell do you think you're saying that to me? She gripped his chin tighter, her eyes burning with anger as her voice hardened. You think you know the real me? You have no idea what I'm capable of. You're blind if you believe that I'm just some copy, some fake. I'm more than that, I'm better than that. You don't know anything. Her gaze grew intensely cold, her eyes narrow. You think I can't do those things? You underestimate me, yet again. Don't you realize a copy can be just as good, even better than the original? You think the original is some perfect being. You're foolish for thinking so. I am better, I am stronger. I am the upgraded version. Her grip on his chin tightened, her voice growing colder. You're so foolish to believe that. The original is weak, naive, and fragile. She could never handle what I can. I'm not bound by the same weakness she is. I can do anything, even violence, and not feel a scrap of remorse. You're the one lying to yourself if you think otherwise. Ahyeon scoffed in response, her expression growing more irritated. You still don't get it, do you? She may be getting stronger, but she'll never be as strong as me. She will always be that weak little girl, and I will always be the one in control. And as for the guns, she may not be used to having one, but I'm more than capable of handling it. I'm not afraid to use it if I need to. Ahyeon chuckled, her eyes narrowing as she leaned closer to his face, still holding his chin tightly. Oh, if I meet the original, I'd have a few choice words for her. I'd tell her how pathetic she is, how weak and fragile she is, how I'm the better version of her, how I have everything she wants, that I'm stronger than she'll ever be. Ahyeon smirked. Oh, I would. Believe me, if I had the chance, I'd say those words to her face and watch her crumble. I'd show her who's really in charge. She leaned back a bit, her smirk slowly fading as she released his chin and her expression grew cold again. You find this amusing, do you? You think I won't follow through with my threats? That I won't go after my original if given the chance? Ahyeon's gaze flicked towards the door as the knocking echoed through the room, her expression changing from cold to curious in an instant. What timing! I swear the universe has a sense of humor. Ahyeon smirked as she watched her original's reaction, enjoying the look of shock and disbelief on her face. Surprised, are you? Didn't expect to see your duplicate, did you? Ahyeon chuckled at her original self's words. Oh, you don't have a gun? How sad, you're so naive and innocent. You have no idea what you're missing out on. She began to slowly walk around the original Ahyeon in a circle, sizing her up as she spoke. As for why I exist, well, I'm your superior self, dear. I have everything you wish you had and more. I'm everything you should be. Ahyeon's expression softened slightly, but her smirk was still there as she allowed her original self to hug her. She patted her original's head gently. There, don't be sad. I'm here now, and I'm the upgrades version of you. I have the power you don't, and I'm not afraid of anything. Ahyeon rolled her eyes in response to her original's words. Oh, you want me to be like you, do you? To be nice and innocent like you? She scoffed and pushed her original self away. That's foolish and you know it. I have no use for being weak and fragile like you. I'm strong now, and that's all that matters. Ahyeon tilted her head, listening to her original self's words with a skeptical expression. She looked at her original, her eyes narrowed. Oh? You think being nice and innocent is not being weak? Do you really believe that being good and loved by many will make you strong? That's laughable. You're so naive to think that being weak is something to be proud of. I have power and force on my side. That's what makes me strong. Ahyeon scoffed, her eyes rolling once more at her original self's optimism. You think being protected by someone else will make you strong? How foolish. You're relying on others to keep you safe. Being strong means relying only on yourself, only trusting yourself and no one else. Ahyeon listened to her original self's whispered words carefully, her expression softening ever so slightly as she felt the embrace. She could feel the sincerity in her original self's voice and words. Ahyeon paused for a moment, a look of contemplation on her face as she considered her original self's words. Maybe, you have a point. Being nice and innocent might not be being weak, but being relied upon. And perhaps being nice and having empathy could make me strong in a different way. ahyeon, the copy, continued to cry as her original self comforted her. She hadn't felt these emotions and this vulnerability in so long. It felt unfamiliar and scary, but having her original self with her, holding her and telling her it was okay to let out her emotions, it made her feel safer. I've never let myself feel this before. I was numb for so long. ahyeon, still crying, leaned into the embrace, hugging her original self back tightly. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kindness and love after everything, but I want it. I want someone to care. I'm tired of being alone. ahyeon, the copy, listened to her original self's words, her tears continuing to flow down her face. When she heard her original self refer to her as her beloved sister, her heart skipped a beat. A sister, a twin, someone who cares for me. She nodded, her voice shaky as she spoke. Yes, I'm okay now. I'm fine. With you here, with you caring for me, I feel better. ahyeon received the necklace from her twin, her fingers wrapping around it tightly as if afraid to let go. She put it on, feeling the weight of it on her neck. As her twin kissed her cheek, she felt a sense of warmth and love that she hadn't felt in a long time. When her twin suggested they go on a picnic, she smiled weakly and nodded. Yes, a picnic. I'd like that, sister. Original ahyeon woke up with a start, her heart racing from the dream she just had. She remembered it so clearly, the feeling of love and companionship with her twin. For a moment, she felt as if her twin was still there. She hugged herself, imagining it was her twin she was embracing. A small smile tugged at the corners of her lips as she realized it was just a dream, but she still felt touched and moved by the experience. It left her feeling a little less alone. ahyeon paused for a moment, surprised by the knocking. She hesitated for a second before calling out in a soft voice, "Who is it?" ahyeon recognized the voice. It was the person she had yesterday. She smiled and called out in response, "Oh, hello, I recognize your voice. My day has been going well, thank you for asking. And yours?" ahyeon paused for a moment, considering whether or not to tell the truth. She decided it was probably best not to lie. "Yeah, I'm alone at the moment. Why do you ask?" ahyeon's eyes widened in surprise. "Wait, it's my birthday today?" She looked at the person in confusion before they showed her the gift and the message from her members. A small smile appeared on her face as she felt a warmth in her chest. "Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you for bringing it to me, and thank you to my members for thinking of me."